It's that time of the year, folks. Our citrus trees are bursting with life. We've got lots of new flowers coming on and a lot of ripe fruit that we've got to harvest, and I'm picking the oranges off here. Got a couple of split ones here. That's irregular watering or irregular moisture in the ground. Not so much about irregular watering by me, folks, because pretty much I don't do any of that. Well, I like to think I do, but not enough of it. So this has to be the rain and a lack of calcium. Well, more calcium needed, and that's the black grit, so I'm going to put some more in it. But considering from last year, we've got 2, 3 split out of here so far. This one was trying to split as well, but didn't quite get there. So we've got 1, 2.5 split so far out of a, what's that, 3, 6, 9, 10, 12, 13 fruit. That's not too bad, because last year we had a lot more splitting, and I think it was more rain too. But anyway, I've applied the black grit. I'm going to put some more. Talking about feeding your garden, folks, I'm getting into that routine, you're welcome to follow me, of feeding my garden on a regular basis. And I'm not referring to every 3 months. I'm talking about every month. Got to get back to this mandarin tree and treat it. Now, this tree here gave me a few mandarins this year, which we harvested already. They were the earliest ones to ripen out of all the citrus. And I've never really had a lot of flowers as much as I'd like to think it's going to be productive enough for me for the work we're doing to it. But in saying that, they're always the slowest to take off by all citrus by comparison. And looking at it now, I see an abundance of new growth and buds developing on this. So this year we're going to have a bumper crop. What I've got to do is treat all this new growth on top and just tie that back there again. Let's go finish harvesting. It's even loaded on this side, all the new growth. I've got to trim all this back, clean it up. I haven't done it. I said I was going to do it, but you know, I say a lot of things and do very little sometimes. But anyway, we'll get back to that one there. Anything growing out longer than 20 centimetres, cut it off. Even if it's got a flower on it, you're going to have to sacrifice a flower so you don't lose the shape of the plant there, folks. And don't cut too much at once. We've got plenty of flowers everywhere. So all this stuff coming out, that just needs to come off. We don't want the flowers growing out a foot away from the fence. And if they have, it's because the weight's holding it down. That's got to be tied back up in there again. Now look at all this fruit on this side. And look at all the grass growing underneath. Now, feed your plants every month. And when I say feed your plants, it's feed your soil. And it's not just our products. It's not about my products here. It's about feeding the earth so you can populate the life in the ground there. You want the microbes activated and taking over and feeding your plants in turn. And you can easily feed them, folks. Easily feed them with just some compost. If you're making your own compost, filter it through so you can get all the chunky bits out of it, and then literally just broadcast a handful per square metre or 2. Just lightly top dress it. That's all you need to do, but you need to water it in as well. All you're doing is feeding your garden smaller amounts on a regular basis. It's a better diet. It's a better diet for everybody, humans, animals and the like. You don't want to be eating all at once. And if you're using something that's not so natural, a bit more on the chemical side, be very careful if you insist on using that stuff, because if you put too much of that, you may have experienced it already, it'll kill a lot of plants, burn a lot of tips, drop a lot of leaves, drop the flowers, burn the fruit, blossom and rot. The list goes on. Build up of nitrogen, lockdown of other micronutrients. Don't understand what that means? Research some of the videos I've done in the past. You'll understand it a lot better when you keep it simple. The KISS method. Practice simple applications, simple fertilizing. Either it's compost, which is what I have, lots of it, and superfood and black grit. They're the 3 things pretty much. If you combine them together, you can call it a planting mix with a bit of worm castings and charcoal and cocoa in it. But at the end of the day, if you don't want to get all that stuff and you're making your own compost, it costs you nothing, just your time. Feed your garden every month and your plants will always be healthy. And why do I say that? It's because I'm looking around my garden and I haven't been feeding everything every month. Some things get it every 3 months, some things don't get it at all. That's because I just don't get around and I don't have a proper schedule in place because I've got too many things happening. But put that aside, if you do it every month, and I've noticed that there are plants and areas that I do it every month, and I'm referring more to the edibles because that's what I love. And my apologies if you love your roses and flowering plants, feed them as well. Once a month, a small amount. Don't use a synthetic or chemical-based fertilizer, use something natural. Compost. You know, I'm going back to that word again, compost. It's simple, it's easy to make, or buy a bag, and 1 bag will feed the entire garden. Pretty much on a typical house block, 1 small handful. So imagine how many handfuls from a bag, a 30-litre bag you can get. Or you want to take it up a notch, get a bag of planting mix. It's got your superfood and black grit in it. Small handfuls. Feed the soil. And when the soil becomes alive, teeming with bacteria and fungi, which are the best stuff that you want, not the bad ones, then your plants will become more resilient because they'll have an immune system that's powered up like a powerhouse of energy and minerals, where very little insect or disease will attack your fruit and plants in fact. So you'll be able to enjoy oranges from a tree that's 2 to 3 years old, like this one here, loaded and ready to give me another season's worth. Mind you, we ate at least a dozen or so of this little tree. So this needs a weed now, you know that, I know that, and someone's going to do it. Ain't going to be me. Hey mate, good on you mate. Grow your plants, feed them on a monthly basis, as I've said already, and your garden will thank you with rewarding you with lots of beautiful produce that you can share with your family and friends. Looking for some great stuff? Check out our website, vasilisgarden.com. We've got everything there you need at discounted prices every day, and a heap of outlets that you can click and collect to save yourself on postage. And for those in interstate, we're getting there soon, folks. Sit back, relax, and watch the ride. No, enjoy the ride, watch the show. I say everything at once. From me, Vasili, Maresi, mi piace.